bad guy? Green what?
Green goblin.
Dalen Bruce Elvis was in such a rush to enter this world that he was almost born on the side of the highway. I guess you could say he had FOMO since birth and was eager to introduce himself to everyone. As a toddler, Dalen was obsessed with superheroes. He especially loved Spider-Man and Batman and dressed up in their costumes on a daily basis. Today, however, Dalen has traded those superhero capes in for footwear. Every day he dons one of his 4 pairs of themed Crocs. They are his winter boots, his PE shoes, and even his dodgeball footwear. Dalen has a very outgoing personality and thrives in social settings. In August of 2021, he traveled to Toronto to play lacrosse with a group of boys he'd never met. Of course, in Dalen style, he befriended all of his teammates within the first day. And when leaving his newfound friends at the airport, he took advantage of our luggage being delayed. He approached each one of his teammates one at a time for a short conversation and a final farewell. Dalen's outgoing personality often makes him the center of attention. At a Rider game, he dressed up as a pickle and after the game went onto the field and took selfies with the players and his friends. With his tall stature and athletic ability, Dalen makes an intimidating presence in any sports game. Dalen, however, is more of a gentle giant than a fighter and has always been baffled with why his much smaller opponents would want to fight him. Although we're all quite certain that some smart-ass retaliatory comment out of Dalen's mouth is to blame. In fact, after one game, he changed quickly and was in a rush to leave, telling us, "Let's get out of here. I told a lot of guys to meet me in the parking lot." He constantly shocks everyone with his quick wit. When asked by a ref during a game, "How tall are you?" Dalen replied, "Tall enough to ride a roller coaster." Or when I told him to score a goal between periods of a hockey game, he calmly replied, "You need to lower your expectations, Dad." Dalen further surprises us with the most random gift ideas on his Christmas list. When he was 9, he had on his Christmas wish list, shoehorn, ×2. And when he was 13, with 0 musical talent, had listed harmonica. Anyway, Dalen, armed with your shoehorns, harmonica, and Crocs, is off to the U of S to pursue a degree in agribusiness. We are also proud of you and know that your outgoing personality will serve you well during this next chapter of your life.
Swift Current's done a good job on the draws so far. There it comes back again, and they have it. Elvis, big man streaking down, plows through the, oh, and there it is! That is a freight train, baby! Choo choo!
Chase Lauren Collier was born on December 23, 2006. Proud parents to Jody and Annette Collier and big sister to Ava. Yes, she was our almost Christmas baby, but I always say she is the best Christmas gift we ever received. Growing up, Chase was an easy child to raise, maybe too easy. Never really caused much trouble. The only trouble we had was keeping her soother, or as she called it, her sucky, out of her mouth. Oh, she loved her sucky. If you gave her her sucky, her blankie, and threw on her favorite cartoon, The Backyardigans, she was in heaven. Chase was a rather shy girl, but also very serious young lady. It was a challenge during her toddler years to get her to smile. Her dad and I tried anything just to have her crack one little grin for a photo, but it was almost impossible. Hard to think that's how she used to be, as she has the most kindest smile today. As school began, she loved going to school and being with her friends. She was very responsible, always got her homework done on time, a teacher's dream really, and hated being late for anything. I think I gave her one of the worst days of her life as she started her first day of grade 2. As most people know, her mother is known for being late and forgot about the new time change as they started school at 8:50 a.m. and not 9 a.m. Well, there we were, strolling into the school at 8:48 a.m., and the kids were already sitting at their desks listening to the teacher as she welcomed them all. Chase was traumatized and gave me the look of death and said to me, "Why are we always late?" As the loving mother I am, I would have consoled her and told her, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the new time change." But nope, I took a picture instead. And every year I post it for everyone to see and giggle. But at least I can say now, aren't you glad I took that photo, Chase? Chase has many talents. She not only has the brains, but is also very artistic and loves to bake and decorate her desserts. But don't ever ask her to cook anything. One day during the summer, her dad and we were working, and she was at home and wanted to cook bacon on the frying pan. As she had told us, she cooked it perfectly 2 weeks before, but this time, the house was in a cloud of smoke. The fire alarm went off. She tried calling both of us, but no answer. And she finally accepted fate, and in the fetal position sat on the couch with her hands over her ears. Dad ended up saving the day as the fire department called him, and he said everything was fine, but called Chase and asked what had happened. To her reply, "I burnt the bacon." She has the scar on her arm from the grease burn to prove it. Her passion for sports is also very evident. Throughout her years, she loved playing volleyball, hockey, badminton, and softball. She was very lucky to experience a provincial hockey title and earned in her second year of playing with the AA Wildcats the nomination as assistant captain. With her dad coaching her alongside through most of her sporting events, he and I loved watching you play, and we'll miss it tremendously next year. Well, girl, you did it. You have worked so hard, and now it's time to celebrate your graduation. You have made us all so very proud. As you leave to the U of S to take biomedical sciences to pursue optometry, your ambitiousness, dedication, and hard work will get you to your goal. But don't forget to have a little fun too. We love you very much, Chase, and congratulations to all the graduating class of 2024.
Good evening, everyone. Ritika is my first kid. I am proud of her because she always supported me, just like I do to her. She is a good kid and she listens me and always does the work I say. But a lot of time she gets angry. So it does anger me a little. She is not the most active kid, but she now her responsibility. Normally she talks a lot of that maybe makes her head in pain, but it also means she know how to keep the room early. I am proud of my daughter and I am very happy she is graduated. Thank you.
Bryn Marie Leppa, daughter of Melanie and Scott Leppa, sister to Braden, Brant, and Brooklyn. Bryn entered this world on April 25, 2006, in a big hurry. We hoped this was an indication of what life would be like with her in the future. Her big brothers were excited to play with her, and maybe that's why she's one tough cookie today. Before she was 3, she had had 2 sets of stitches. One from tumbling on a brick pathway and landing square on her noggin on the only pebble on the path, and the other from her trying to walk along the back of the couch and falling off onto the Bowflex, a perfect C shape cut into her scalp. Another example of her toughness is her times at the dentist. She has had several fillings done without freezing, all because she doesn't like the needles. She's one tough kid. At a young age, we got to witness one of her trying but beneficial traits: stubbornness. Whenever we would ask her to do something she didn't want to do, she would give us this face with a loud no. Bryn couldn't wait to go to school as soon as she was old enough. At home, she stood her ground and could play rough with her brothers, but that first day of preschool, the shy, quiet side of Bryn came out. This didn't last long once she got to know Kaylor, Chase, and Tara. Bryn has been a star student since the day she started school. She just isn't willing to accept anything other than perfection when it comes to school. This strive for excellence doesn't stop at school either. Bryn spent a few years tagging along behind her brothers when they were doing their sports. As soon as she could, she was playing soccer at school, which was followed by a 4-year stint of minor football. We just had to remind her that the other football players needed to be tackled just like she would do to her brothers at home. Bryn has excelled at volleyball, basketball, archery, badminton, and of course track and field. She surprised a coach or two with her quick feet. Bryn's determination to do well at track has really paid off. We were so proud of her when she won a provincial silver medal. For anyone that knows her, that medal didn't come without a lot of extra training at home. Sometimes a lot of yelling, screaming, and stomping away from Coach Dad as well. Bryn also has a soft spot for animals. She's been a member of the Clarebank 4-H Club for 12 years in the Beef Project, as well as many others over the years. And if grade 12 isn't a busy enough year for her, she and Brooklyn decided they should try the Market Lamb Project too. She says this will be her last year in 4-H, but the opportunity for her to travel to Ireland in May make that a harder decision. She had a great time. Throughout all of her school sports and 4-H achievements, Bryn has made friends from far and wide. Every free weekend we have to ask her which way she is going. She has also become a sought-after babysitter. She loves to spend time with her littles, and they can never wait to dive into her special bag. They hold a special place in her heart. Bryn also took on the role of head gymnastics coach, a job she wasn't so sure about when she started. Her success shows in the high number of kids that sign up each season. She takes great pride in watching her gymnasts learn new skills and succeed, and even likes to show them a few skills herself. Bryn has been accepted into the College of Agriculture and Bioresources in the fall. Her goal is to start in animal science and end up in veterinary medicine. Her stubbornness, willingness to learn and try anything, and her strive for excellence will take her far. Congratulations, Bryn. We know you will succeed at whatever you put your mind to.
Cheyenne Jane Leach, born in Medicine Hat, Alberta. She fit between my elbow and my hand and still does. When Cheyenne was little, she would climb the back fence like a monkey, couldn't keep her in the yard. She loved her bath time and swimming with goggles and riding around in Daddy's truck. Always by my side and following wherever I went. She used to sing songs on a stool with her Taylor Swift microphone. She got Power Wheels when she was 2 and wouldn't sit to drive her, always standing to drive. When we moved to the farm, she was never in the house, always with Grandpa or Dad in a truck or a tractor. She learned how to drive following the combine around in a Ranger with Grandpa. She fell in love with horses, her grandpa teaching her how to ride. When she was driving a tractor by 10, a natural on any piece of equipment. She's always antsy to get hang and keeps everyone on schedule. Shy is an old soul, spending hours in nature, taking in every sunset she can, befriending coyotes, foxes, or whatever other critter follows her. Being the oldest sibling, Shy is taken to the role of caregiver or role, cleaning up a mess before it's even made. Don't set anything down where it isn't supposed to be, or you won't find it again. Shy is off to Olds College in the fall to take equine care and management course. We hope she meets a cowboy out there so we can go visit the beautiful foothills. And when the day comes and you have your own kids, I hope you have a daughter or a son that loves you like you love me. So wander this world, fearless and free. Climb every mountain and sail every sea. But if you wander too far into the great unknown, you know I will find you and I'll carry you home.
Tara Hillary Carlson came into this world on February 8, 2006 to parents Rhea and Murray Carlson. She is a lively and dynamic character. Her voice was heard from her very first night on Earth when she was the baby that kept everyone on the maternity floor awake because she screamed all night long. That night was an indication of things to come, as anyone who knows Tara knows that she's never really slept since then, and she has ensured that her voice has always been heard. Tara was a determined kid and often looks back at pictures from when she was little and cringes at what she is wearing or her Karen haircuts. Her elementary teachers giggled at what she used to wear. She often says to her mom, "Why did you let me wear that?" Rhea then says, "Tara, I had to choose my battles with you, and your early ideas of fashion were ones I knew I couldn't win." Tara has had strong opinions right from the start, and she does a great job of expressing them. Our girl has always done everything in high gear. My mom used to joke that Tara never learned to walk. She started out running and that's all she's ever done. To this day, Tara never does anything half speed. I called Tara Professor Kumbayashi because she's always been so smart. She loves to learn, and people have seen her win awards for academics, but what most people don't see is her dedication behind the scenes when she works late at night, studying and finishing assignments. For the most part, Tara was one of those kids who was hard to trick and didn't make a lot of silly mistakes. However, her brilliance was on display one night when Tara noticed we had gotten a new TV remote. I went about convincing her that the new remote was voice activated, and all she had to do was talk to it to change channels. With an excited look on her face, she grabbed the remote like a rock star, holds a microphone, and hollered her channel selection. With a puzzled look, she said, "It's not working, it's still in the same channel." I replied, "You need to yell louder." With a determined look, she took a deep breath and barked her orders into the remote once again. It was only a second later that she realized she'd been had. Tara is dependable and responsible and recognizes the value of participating in lots of activities and helping in her community. She feels responsible to help others and is unselfish in her actions. She often has to put on her big girl pants and do things she might not necessarily want to do, but she does these things with determination, passion, and dedication. On her Sundogs volleyball team, she's the Swiss Army knife, playing several positions and getting subbed in to serve when the match is on the line. Tara approaches activities with enthusiasm and maturity. She loves to compete, whether it's a game of anomia or one of her sports. On the basketball court, her fiery passion is always noticeable. Tara will be taking her voice and work ethic, her love of learning, her passion for life, and her fear of spiders to give the College of Agriculture a shot this fall at U of S in Saskatoon.
Okay.
beginning, Helena has shown a blend of curiosity and determination, with the side of pain in the rear. From the day that she started talking, there was no off switch. She would talk about anything and everything with no filter in place. She had all the answers. Helena had a real thirst for knowledge, and to this day she has no shortage of fun facts. She would always be the one asking why, and would be in search of the answers despite the outcome. She also loved cutting things up as a young child, and no matter how many times scissors would be taken away from her with a little smack on the hand, she always managed to get her hands on another pair. It started with her cutting up bits of paper and tiny snippets out of the carpet, to the hair of her dolls and Barbies. This is where her passion for hairstyling began. As a 4-year-old, her first victim was her little sister Mary, practically shaving the hair off of her head. Although Mom and Dad were quite upset, Helena felt like she had accomplished a work of art. Over the years, she loved getting her hair done by her older sisters and also loved doing the hair of her younger sisters. Helena had such long, beautiful hair that she took great pride in. At age 13, she began to lose her hair, starting with tiny little bald spots here and there. It wasn't overly concerning at first. A year later, she had lost up to 90% of her hair to alopecia. As discouraging as it was, she learned all that she could about her condition and never lost hope of regaining her hair. But as a teenager, wanting to fit in with her peers, the struggle was real. She hated wigs, so instead of looking for ways to cover up, she learned to embrace her alopecia by discovering ways to style the few hair that she had left, and continued the art of hairstyling on her friends and family. She loved learning about alopecia and similar conditions, and found different ways to heal physically and mentally with the support of her close friends and family. Since then, she has regained the majority of her hair and has decided of a future career where she can help people with similar conditions feel beautiful and loved. If there is one thing we can learn from her story, it's not the struggles and situations we endure that define who we are and level of our strength, but rather what we make of them. Jeremiah 29:11 says, For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord, plans to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Helena's journey from childhood to graduation is a testimony to her character marked by curiosity, determination, and resilience. With these personal qualities in place, she will succeed in all she proceeds to do in her life. Thank you.
Kennedy Dana Jensen, daughter of Chris and Kristen Jensen. Kennedy is truly one of a kind, with her quick-wit sense of humor, big heart, and goofy attitude. She's always been a happy girl, and she loves cracking jokes and being silly to make us laugh. Growing up with Kennedy, you never knew what she was going to say or do. When she was 6, she put a pot on her head and said, "Look, Mommy, I'm a pothead." She has been an animal lover her whole life. But unfortunately, with Keegan and I being allergic, we could never have any inside pets. She definitely made do with lots of outside ones, though. She loved them, and they loved her. She would often be found on the deck, surrounded by cats, and loving every minute of it. Kennedy also loves the outdoors. When she was little, her favorite things to do were play in the sandbox, jump on the trampoline, build a snowman, or a toboggan. As she got older, though, all she wanted to do was drive around the yard for hours in her quad or golf cart. This continued even when she got her license. She and I were not always the best of friends growing up. We were at each other's throats a lot. It got so bad that she would even post notes on her bedroom door saying everyone was allowed in, except for me. Although things like that are funny looking back at, I'm grateful for the friendship we have now. Even though I've moved out, we still try to do lots of things together. Our favorite thing to do is go to concerts, which we plan to do many more of in the future. My favorite concert memory with Kennedy is when we went to a Thomas Rhett concert, and she was way more excited to see the opener, Jordan Davis, her favorite singer of all time. We were so close to the stage. She even got to give him a high five, and I'm pretty sure she went into some sort of overjoyed shock. We are so proud of the responsible young lady Kennedy has become. She got a job at the daycare when she was 16 and started paying for her own gas. She loves making money and, unlike me, doesn't like spending it. One of Kennedy's favorite channels growing up was HGTV. She would sit and watch it for hours. It's no wonder she has chosen the career path she has. We can't wait to see what she accomplishes when she moves to Moose Jaw to take architectural technologies and then onto real estate. Good luck in the future, Ken. We love you. Davin Roy Krogsgaard, son of Roy and Alexis Krogsgaard, was born May 3, 2006 in Soufcurrent. He is the youngest sibling to Brittany and Carson Krogsgaard. Yes, Davin, you heard that right. After all these years of being told by us, and sometimes Mom and Dad, that you were adopted from a Mexican family or that you were delivered by a FedEx man, we're sorry to tell you that you are in fact a Krogsgaard by blood. For those who know Davin, he has been a kind, caring, and loving soul since day one. His friends and family are his everything, and he would do anything for anyone who asked. He'd greet you with a smile and have a lengthy visit with you. Since a very young age, he could be found helping out his Grandpa Egan at the farm or helping Grandpa Joe on a project at his house or in the garage. He's even known to help out his dad at home with the odd jobs. He has reminded his dad a few times that he can thank him for having a dishwasher, as it was in fact him that installed it. Davin often follows his own path. At a young age, he decided he hated skating and hockey, which is not the norm if you were raised in a small town. Even though his older siblings and all his friends played, his only interest in hockey was to sit on the ice and cry. His winters instead were spent wrestling with the Soufcurrent Titans, spending many weekends on the road at various tournaments, where he'd earned himself many gold medals. Davin did learn that eventually he would have to learn to skate, so he taught himself how
during the many days of backyard skating at the Strush Shoot House and shinny at the Gull Lake rink. Davin is very determined when he gets his mind set on anything. After many times of his dad trying to teach him how to ride a bike, he would just quit and give up as he feared falling off the bike. He told his dad one day that he wanted to go for a bike ride, and Roy explained to him that they could not go for a bike ride as he didn't know how to ride his bike yet. Roy said when he rode his bike to the end of the block by himself, then they could go for the bike ride. About an hour later of this, Davin going in and out, in and out, in and out of the house, and his parents thinking he was just playing, when suddenly he appeared in the house stating that he was ready to go for a bike ride since he could now ride his bike. Roy and Alexis went outside and watched as Davin got on his bike and rode himself down the end of the block and back. They couldn't believe it. When asked why he was going in and out of the house so much, he said he needed more band-aids for every time he fell off. Davin enjoyed his school sports over the years, like badminton, basketball, and of course football. His main passion for numerous years was lacrosse. He loved being a goalie, but since COVID shut down his sport of choice, he turned his attention and time to golf. After Davin's grandparents moved off the farm to Ladysmith, BC, Davin found his passion for the island life and decided to spend numerous summers living with his grandparents, Egan and Carolyn. He would even call his mom to remind her that BC had schools too, so maybe he didn't have to come home at the end of summer. As he got older, he even found work at one of the nearby golf courses doing grounds maintenance. His days in BC were filled with working, golfing with Grandma, fishing with Grandpa, visiting Nan and Granddad, and I'm sure so much laughter. Davin will be attending the U of S in the fall, where he will be studying business agriculture with the plans of continuing farming on the family farm in Ogama after university. Davin, we are extremely proud of you and so excited to see what your future holds. You have a heart of gold, and you can achieve anything you set your mind to. We know you will do great things. For your mom's sake, please come visit and call often, because you know your siblings don't. Oh, and Davin, little advice from me. For mom's sake, don't really tell her what goes on at university, and just run your cover story by Carson and I, just in case. Congrats, buddy.
Stephen Nolan Schumann was born to Lisa and Robert Schumann near 10 p.m. on March 20th, 2006. He is a solstice baby, and indeed in every aspect represents new and vibrant growth and life, just as does the introduction of spring. He loves the great outdoors, whether the mountains or big sky prairies. His love for the outdoors is adventurous. He adores the quiet calmness of night, doesn't adhere to contact sports, but loves basketball. So much so, you'll find him playing basketball day or evening. Stephen's nature is really something to behold. He has an uncanny ability to resolve almost anything, even under adverse circumstances. You won't find him complaining or saying anything bad about people who try to undermine him. It's an unusual quality, but not something that goes unnoticed. One of Stephen's interests is speech therapy. As a child, he attended speech therapy because he had so much expression, but not in the form of words. And in the long run, it paid off well. Obviously, he found his speech therapy teachers to be quite an influence. Whatever his future holds, we wish him the best and will be there for him every way we can. We love you, Stephen. Love Mom, Dad, and his bros. Happy graduation.
Graduate McKenna June Palmier, daughter of Michael and Melissa Palmier, big sister to Talon. McKenna has always been a strong-willed, say-it-like-it-is kind of girl. She has a heart of gold and would do anything to lend a helping hand. She's kind, caring, thoughtful, generous, and full of love. McKenna has a clumsy yet fearless nature, as she displayed while trying to exit a golf cart while it was still on the move. She's taken many leaps off the Simi Bridge and conquered the treetop drop in Cyprus at a young age. Throughout Kenna's younger days, she enjoyed dance, volleyball, and softball. She's a fish in the water and loves to skate, but her latest passion is caring for people. Children flock to McKenna. She's so kind to the elderly and she enjoys spending time with them. She spent countless hours by her great-grandma June's bedside leading up to her passing. McKenna has loved being a big sister to Talon. That poor guy has endured much torture in his days. From TikToks to blue shampoo hair treatments, face painting, wacky hairstyles, and dress up, he's been through it all. Kenna has served as an older sister to her cousins Sunny and Lou, also having them create TikToks, playing dress up, making slime, and doing crafts. They very easily could talk McKenna into doing almost anything with them. Those two girls have also been the sunshine on many cloudy days for McKenna. McKenna has recently become a big sister to 3 bonus siblings, Zariah, Avriana, and Zayden. She's become a role model in what a big sister should be. Seeing how big of a cheerleader she is for Talon in all sports he takes part in, Kenna listens with great enthusiasm to the kids' stories, sits for countless hours while playing games, having hair and makeup done, and encouraging everyone to laugh, be goofy, and have fun. McKenna has made their lives so much brighter. Family has always been important to McKenna. She's enjoyed many family camping trips and even got to accompany our chosen family, Maverick and Callie, to an Oilers game, something she will never forget. This past winter, McKenna accompanied her boyfriend Jordan and his family on a sledding trip to Revelstoke. On day 1, she called to tell me about the gnarly launch she took off the Skidoo. How she's never broke a bone, I will never know. McKenna has always loved spending time at her auntie's farms. She's assisted in brandings, rode horses, drove the country on quads and rangers, and has recently started assisting Jordan with butchering. She's not afraid to try new things, and I know that will always help her succeed in life. Well, you did it, my girl. I'm proud of you, and I'm very excited to see what's in store for you. You will do great things, spread those wings, and shine that light into the lives of others. Talon, I love you huge.
Congratulations, kiddo. You make me feel so proud. I'm looking forward to what your future will hold. You truly are a gift from God. Love, Dad.
We love you, McKenna.
So, baby, come give me something, oh. I'm a savage, yeah. Classic, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody.
Kaylor Lindale Rudd was born on June 8, 2006. I was in absolute shock and disbelief that I finally had my baby girl and wouldn't believe anyone until I held her in my arms and checked for myself. She is my rainbow baby, and I was over the moon in love with my precious baby girl. Kaylor became a sister to Kaylee, Kyan, Keeson, and then later to Colden. I prayed so hard for you, Kaylor, to come into this world, and though many of my prayers were unanswered, I'm sure glad you were the prayer that was answered. Kaylor has always been a very confident girl, even at a young age. When her brother Kyan was in grade 4, he needed an empty cigarette package for a school health project. Her brothers and I didn't want to knock on the neighbor's door to ask, so Kaylor, at the age of 5 years old, marched up to the door and knocked. She threw her hand on her hip and said, "My mom needs some smokes." I then had to go and explain what was needed. We can laugh about it now. Kayla played hockey, ball, and volleyball in her youth, but her true passion has been anything to do with horses. She has been in 4-H for the past 13 years and lives to barrel race. Even when she hits the dirt on her horses, she always gets back up smiling. Kayla has had some tough luck with losing some of her horses over the years. She didn't let that break her love of riding. Last year, she set a goal to be in the 1D on her horses, and she exceeded that by winning the Youth 1D. This year, she moved up to the Open and running with the ladies. She had a great year and placed amongst some great horses and riders. Horses will always be a part of her life, and she will be taking her horse Sage to college with her. Kayla, always remember, you are good enough, you are strong enough, you are smart enough. Believe in your worth, believe in who you are, because you are truly loved, and you are good enough, and you are strong and smart enough. You are so much more than you can imagine. You are so much more than enough. Look for opportunities to show compassion and generosity. Don't be tricked into thinking happiness comes from getting what you want. Happiness comes from giving, not getting. When you're feeling down, help someone else. Kayla, I admire your strength, determination, and confidence. My girl, not only did you become my best friend, but also my hero. I was supposed to be your role model, but instead you became mine. Words cannot describe how much you mean to me and how blessed I am to have you in my life. I will always be here for you, no matter what. Kayla plans to take environmental sciences at Lakeland College in Vermilion, Alberta. I am so very proud of you. I wish you the best of luck, and I know you will do great things. I love you, always and forever, Mom. Congratulations to all the grads of 2024. It has been an honor watching you all grow up, watching you play sports, and seeing your friendships develop over the years. Kayla and I wish you the best in your future plans. Remember, in a world where you can be anything, be kind, and call your mamas.
Jarrett Mark Slavik, son of Jeff and Allison Slavik. As a child, Jarrett was always full of life, moving constantly, laughing and enjoying life to the fullest. He was always eager to try new things and was always planning something. He had so much energy that at times his sister had to hide in her room to avoid being persuaded into another adventure. Chores were abandoned as quick as it was allowed so that he could build his roads for his Tonka trucks. As he got older, that evolved into building ramps for his bike and eventually building his own swimming pool at the end of the garden. In the house, there were roads for his cars, which slowly changed to farm equipment, and after many episodes of watching Gold Rush with his dad, the farm equipment was transformed into mining equipment. His imagination was endless. The basement was used for mini-stick games and Nerf gun wars and even Ninja Warrior practice. He climbed the walls, even had a rope hanging in the laundry room that he would zip up so he could do pull-ups from the rafters. Jarrett was always ready to go for a walk or a bike ride. His sister remembers one time when he wiped out on his bike. She thought he had blood on his face, so she whipped off his helmet only to find out it was just mud. Jarrett was so excited when he got his first dirt bike. He was a little nervous the first time he rode it, but it didn't take long before he was zipping around looking for a good spot to jump. He and his dad enjoyed taking long rides around the country or going to the track. In the winter, there were always forts to build, snowball fights to be had, and hills to toboggan. One year, we had so much snow, the pump house was completely buried. Jarrett was going to single-handedly shovel it out. He would spend hours digging, but he never succeeded. He did have a great fort in the snowbank, though. As the kids got a little bigger, we learned not to sled down the hill in the yard, because Jarrett would not jump off the toboggan even if he had a tree at the bottom of the hill. The sledding was made even more exciting when the toboggan was being pulled by a snowmobile, and once again, Jarrett learned the hard way to let go if the toboggan kept going when the snowmobile stopped. Now the excitement is in the trips to the mountains riding his own snowmobile. Although hockey has been a constant favorite throughout the years, Jarrett has tried every activity he could. Soccer, baseball, cross-country running, track, volleyball, badminton, football, lacrosse, fishing, archery, hunting, dirt biking, snowmobile, and even guitar lessons. During COVID, Jarrett was eager to help with anything, whether it involved cooking, baking, painting, yard work, or woodworking. I loved having him help with everything. Jared always loved spending time with his dad, going out hunting, working or playing in the shop, or helping him farm. He always agreed to not tell Mom about their adventures, but the moment he was in the door of the house, the beans were spilled. "Mom, Dad let me drive. We were throwing pumpkins and watching them explode. We hit a bump so hard I fell out of my seat. Don't play the song Tokyo Drift when Dad's driving." Life was always interesting. I wish I could go back to those days where he told me everything, but the teen years took over, and smiling for photos or even taking photos were a thing of the past. These days I have to corner him for a hug, but he doesn't fight it as much as he used to. And much to my delight, Jared very recently let me in on a secret involving a Cyprus trip, Dad driving over the Mickey Mouse Hills, and a group of boys who may or may not have hit their heads on the roof of the truck, but I'm sure there was a lot of laughter. Jared, we are so proud of you, and even though I say you need to leave home and go out into the world, I'm dreading it as well. Jared hopes to take ag mechanics at Polytech in Saskatoon and plans to work on the farm with his dad and grandpa. Congratulations to all the grads. We know you will all do great things.
This might come as a surprise, but Brett actually loves being at school. Not the sitting in class hour after hour, but he doesn't like missing school because that leads to homework, which he hates, and being away from his friends, which he hates even more. He's always liked to get to school early every day, so he didn't miss any time hanging out with his friends. Brett had a need to keep his hands busy during class. In grade 6, Mr. Crosby discovered one of Brett's keep busy projects. Brett had chopped an eraser into about 100 pieces and stapled every piece back together. He then stapled his school picture to it and gave it to Mr. Crosby as a gift. Mr. Crosby even kept it on display on his desk for a few years after. As a little boy, Brett always loved cars and trucks. It all started with Lightning McQueen and the General Lee. You wouldn't see him without one or the other in his hand at all times. When he turned 6, he told everyone that he had only 10 more years to go until he could get his license. Since he got his license, he hasn't stopped driving, and he's moved on to loving big, loud trucks. Brett is a hard worker, and he loves keeping things neat and organized. His bedroom, his trucks, his locker, and his binders have never been anything but spotless and orderly. At the end of grade 10, he turned those skills into a thriving car detailing business. Brett's a pretty quiet guy, and he doesn't have much to say if you try to strike up a conversation with him. But put him in a room with his friends and teammates, and he is a great leader and a whole lot of fun. Brett has always been a natural athlete and has had a lot of success with hockey, baseball, and football, winning a hockey provincial title and a couple of baseball titles. His athleticism has provided many highlight reel moments, but his favorite thing about any sport he played was being a part of his team and loving the time he spent with his teammates. Even though most of Brett's life has revolved around being with his friends, he has found a lot of happiness in his quiet moments alone. One winter when he was 8 or 9, he came racing home from school to grab a shovel. He excitedly told us that he had found a huge patch of ice covered by snow just down the street from our house. He was up long before the sun ever rose most mornings shoveling his rink. He spent so many hours there skating that he often came home with frostbite on his fingers, but nothing could keep him away from that little piece of heaven he had discovered. Brett, you have been a joy to watch grow up. Our home has been filled with laughter and crazy shenanigans, a constant stream of your friends coming and going, loud, stinky boys, and we wouldn't trade those memories for anything. You have given us so much to be proud of. We can't wait to see what your future holds.
Alexa Alekatem, daughter of Lisa and Bolatem, big sister to Lila and Olivia. Born December 23rd, Alexa took her time coming into the world. 2 weeks late, and after 3 days of labor, she was born, kicking and screaming, already speaking her mind. She's always known what she's wanted to say, because by 9 months old, she was already speaking in full sentences. She never shied away from anyone. Stranger danger, not Alexa. If there was a sketchy white van that said free puppies on the side during her younger years, you bet Alexa would skip right over there in a heartbeat. Shying away from strangers would keep her from meeting new people and learning new things, and she would have none of that. Alexa knows herself. She knows her likes and dislikes, which has her an outgoing, determined, and loving individual. She's a great mix of both serious and funny, all at the same time. She's always been genuine to her individual self. With strong determination, she never shied away from trying new things. She loves keeping busy and staying active. Through this, she has tried lots of sports, including gymnastics, basketball, target shooting, archery, and the sport that captured her heart, volleyball. She has always been able to shine, but here in volleyball, she was part of the affectionately known The Wall on her team. She was a consistent server, a great hitter, and an awesome blocker. Volleyball has truly been the love of hers and has shared her passion with her sisters, even getting to play her last year alongside Sister Lila. She loves being able to help others, whether it's babysitting, reffing volleyball, helping with Carmichael community events, or even being a mini cadet. She's always there to lend a hand. Alexa has been an amazing big sister and role model to Lila and Olivia. She taught them everything she knows, the good and the not so good. Thankfully, that outgoing passion has guided her on to her next journey, heading to Calgary to pursue her degree in international business from Mount Royal University and later law school. We're so proud of Alexa, her strong, determined, and loving self. We can't wait to see where she heads out into the world and shows her true self and shines.
Well, our son, Lane Urban Paul, your dad, Shayla, Dusty, myself, family and friends could not be more proud of you. The determination and positive attitude you have always put forth throughout the years has well shown. The bond that you have with your sister Shayla and brother Dusty will always be cherished. You are not just siblings, you are best friends who have most definitely made your parents very proud, but have also been known to test us at times. You learnt many patience due to having Shayla as a sister, as well as how to be that cool older brother to Dusty. There is not much that you three don't do together as a team, whether that be work around the ranch, enjoying a round of golf, or just doing what siblings do. Growing up, you thought that you wanted to be YouTube famous, and gosh, you were pretty good at making a lot of those videos. The videos would start with, "This is Lane and my brother Dusty, and this is my sister Shayla over there." There are many videos showing some kung fu fighting, hockey in the basement, creating nunchucks, showing what happens when you put baking powder, pepper, and vinegar in your mouths, trying to stay on for 8 seconds, riding the calves or the barrel tied to 4 posts. Most of the videos ended with "click here to subscribe," then giggles from all of you. There is always one guy who you listen to when he speaks, and that is your dad. When the two of you have conversations, your dad listens to you and you listen to him. And then in the end, you would put those conversations together and come up with a plan. Yes, sometimes those plans ended up having to go back to the drawing board and trying again. But even if it didn't work the first time, you two never stopped planning, and a lot of times another Amazon order was placed. So remember, Lane, if you need some guidance, your dad is here for you.
You really did have your mom fooled. As I look back at the videos when I wasn't around, my sweet Lane was not always so sweet to his brother Dusty. You were good at blaming Dusty for everything, but now I see how it really went down. I will always cherish the talks, laughs, and cries that we shared together. Even if we didn't always agree at that moment, we both knew at the end of the day that family is most important and that we are very lucky to have the family that we do. When we say I love you, we truly mean it. Now, as you move on to the next chapter in your life, we know you are going to do great things. Are you going to do everything perfect? Heck no, that would be boring. And besides, you are the kid who likes to learn by trying. Son, we want to make sure that you know whatever you do, wherever you go, your family and friends are here for you, cheering you on. Always take the time to enjoy life and be proud. We are excited to see what the future holds for Lane Paul.